Home golf. Gary Player calls Jordan Spieth's career a tragedy, insists. Gary Player calls Jordan Spieth's career a tragedy, insists he could be the best golfer in the world. Jordan Spieth isn't the best golfer in the world right now, and golf legend Gary Player thinks that is a tragedy. Asked if Spieth had seemed a contender to keep playing at the highest level for longer, given his early triumphs and sparkling CV, Player replied. At only 21, Spieth won the Masters and US Open in 2015 to establish himself as one of golf's hottest young talents. After all, he was so young to have 3 major championships already, the expectations only climbed. Spieth has floundered since, experiencing few highs in his career after that peak and winning only one PGA Tour event in the years that followed. Now 51st in the world, fans and critics alike are wondering whatever happened to the player that appeared primed to dominate golf for years to come. An 8-time major winner in his own career, Gary Player didn't exactly sugarcoat his assessment when it came to Spieth's current plight. During an appearance on the Golf Supply YouTube channel, Player said that he believes Spieth is the best golfer in the world, but that his potential has been unrealized because of poor coaching. The best golfer in the world, Player said. However, I think he was just taught the wrong thing. He was shown wrong and kept going down. The prevailing theory is Spieth suffers a technical defect in his swing, possibly, frowned upon instruction from his formative years. According to Player, who has one of the greatest short games and was perhaps the most consistent around the greens, Spieth's inconsistency off the tee prevented him from maintaining that level of success. Even if you had a guy like Ben Hogan teaching Jordan Spieth, he'll be the greatest player in the world, Player said, paying homage to the legendary precision-driven American golfer. He's just such a competitor, he's such an amazing guy. A wonderful guy for golf. He has the greatest short game, best course management for a player, but he just can't hit the ball. Flag and hole. That is a tragedy. This isn't just a critique of Spieth's game for Player, but a wider comment on golf coaching, particularly in this country. He also argued that the American system of instruction was flawed in certain areas, one example being the bowed wrist, a type of wrist position you might use when playing golf. Those in the sport have an extremely poor understanding, said Player. Once you learn that wrist-breaking technique, you get commas. Your golf career is limited. The interview demonstrates that the player is annoyed with coaching, and I believe what he says resonates with many players who are concerned that modern teaching and specifically the core fundamentals only make a limited number of golfers great. He said it could be a way to generate power for players when hitting a ball, but added that it can also lead to weaknesses in other aspects of their game. Player also went on to talk up Seve Ballesteros, and you may be surprised by what he says about one of the most talented players in golf. Player, famously precise in his knowledge of the golf swing taught from coach John Brooks, highlighted that while Ballesteros was a creative genius around the greens and on the course, he had almost no clue about his own swing. Which would be sacrilegious apart from those who bought into the myth of Seve as an artist untethered by sloganistic rhetoric. And isn't that part of geniuses attributed to such maverick artistic control? You know who knew least on the golf swing right? Player asked. Ballesteros. He was a 6 handicap when I caddied for him at Troon as a kid. He knew not what he did. No idea. But he had the most musical feel of any man who ever lived. Although Seve Ballesteros was not as well versed in the technical aspects of his chipping, Player identified him as one of the elite players in salvaging pars around the greens. Player fondly recalled how Ballesteros was a master of some of those artistry shots but taught. From 50 yards in, he was so good. Player added, he was as good as anybody that ever lived. He was as good as anybody, I don't know who the best is. But hitting fairways? All over the place. These two divergent examples, Spieth's unfulfilled potential and Ballesteros' untapped raw genius, epitomize a key lesson out of Player about golf, the necessity of upskilling and knowledge in golf. The Hall of Famer believes a golfer can possess the most talent in the world, but if he or she is misinformed and improperly taught about the game's mechanics, their career will be doomed. Personnel is policy. If you lack the information, your power is restricted. Very limited, Player said at last, an echo of the mental plus technical in every golfer's process. As for Spieth, his fans are hanging on to hope that the Texan can match what he did in 2015 and return to the top, and there's still enough evidence of his greatness out there, but as a Bears fan, it's hard to forget what once was. He has struggled in recent years, but when Spieth is on his game, specifically with his chipping and ability to just get the ball in the hole by any means necessary, he still ranks among the best in the world. But whether or not Spieth can fix his swing issues and return to the form that made him a record-smashing major winner at such an early age will rely on if he can find the right mentorship to unleash the full potential in his game. We should heed the words of Gary Player, secretly whispering in our ear as we slap at a little white ball, while you hit, learn some things, add and subtract in midair. Spieth is the type of player who could still fulfill his highest potential and be one of the sport's all-time best, but only with proper mentorship/teaching. What do you think? Jordan Spieth, is there a blueprint for going back to the top of golf? Tell us what you think in the comments section below.